Hello everybody, today I want to go through how I geared up my Necromancer in about 4 days. This video is gonna covering stuff like leveling, it's gonna cover stuff like trading and gearing up, and also kinda getting, the optimal way to spend your time doing something, rather boring, but doing it in a fast way. I also think this guide will kind of tell you how I play the game very in very great in details, because I play the game maybe a bit different compared to most people nowadays. I like to just gear up a character, find a guide, follow that guide, gear the character up, test out the build, have some fun, and then move on. That's basically how I play. But yeah, I think this little introduction is kind of over now, so a lot of topics, but let's get to it. So the very first thing I like to do before I even consider a build or even start playing the game is kind of just googling around and getting a feel for what the community says about certain builds, what Google can find, and so forth. But what I ended up betting on this time was this guide on JSP. As you can see up here, 32,600 views and 83 replies. This is a very popular one, and that is why we can easily find it via Google. I can just give you an example. So I like to just type out Diablo 2 and then summon Necromancer build, for instance. Always kind of fun to just see what Google finds. Diablo fans and all those sites are popping up. There's just a lot to go for, and this is kind of how I get the inspiration for kind of finding the next build I want to do. And then if I want to make sure it's a little more up to date or anything like that, I try to put in the years and stuff. Kind of just, yeah, being good at googling. That's kind of how I started out. But yeah, I find this guide here and I kind of just look into it. So what do I need? Okay, so I need 125% faster cast rate. That is my goal. How do I get 125% faster cast rate? I need to level it to 89. And that is kind of where I stopped. So why did I stop at this point? Well, look at this little amulet here. It requires level 89. And I know in order to get 125% faster cast rate with the items that I want to use, I need to also have a 20% faster cast rate amulet. And since it's a crafted one with +2, it requires level 89 to equip. So that is kind of where I, stop it at. And I thought, okay, let's move on from that get-go. How do I get to 89 the fastest? I go on JSP, I go into services, and I type out a little trade, and then I go, just some random title, need Baal book, boom. Then I wait, and I pay a fee for like 15 FG. Actually, I do want to pimp out one guy. Yeah, he actually was leveling a Fina, I think he was called. Yeah, he was called Fina, who helped me out this time, and he was using his Amazon to help me out with Baal book that hadn't done the quests yet. Yeah, thank you for that. But yeah, Baal bug, it's not easy to get, I will say that, but if you can get Baal bug or even a classic rush, it's gonna go so much faster, because then you only need to do like 25 Chaos runs and you're level 60. And as soon as you level 60, well, in my case, then I started trading. So I got easy items like triangles, soy rings, Elder's boots. I checked out my mules. So if you have like mule items, many people carry these minor items here, such as Mars amulet, maybe even have some skillers. That's kind of what I went for. Quickly just getting those things muled while I was leveling to maybe 75 or something. And yeah, then I started looking a bit more in depth. What do I need? How do I get it? And that is where JSP comes in. So JSP is just such a good thing to speed up trading. I try to also trade in game because that's kind of fun, but it's so hard nowadays because not a lot of people are online, at least on Europe Nonlitter. But yeah, as you can see, I haven't quite got all the needs that I want yet. One of the very last things that I always tend to finish up is resist capping. So I know I need lightning resist faster cast rate ring. It's a bit specific need. So how do I get these, the last few items that are just very hard? Say for some people that would maybe be a dev's whip that is 55 minus resist. You go into, say, for trade FT, and then you type out, say, dev's whip, and then you just hit search. Okay, no search results found. Already here you can kind of see that it's hard to get certain items, but in my case, let's take the 10% faster cast rate lightning resist ring. So LR for lightning resist, and let's oh yeah, that's my own topic that came through there, funny enough. But yeah, let's just see if I can find anything, because it worked just fine before without the lightning resist at least. But yeah, you can already see down here I find a topic that it's only selling rings, so that's perfect. I can go through it now. Oh, that was actually a very fine one, just not quite my need because it has poison resist on it. And that is kind of how I find topics for these really hard items, speeding it up. I don't want to wait for people posting in my topics. That's often very slow, and not everyone is gonna see these topics every 4 hours when I bump them. So having the search tool on JSP just speeds up the trading a lot more. I really like that feature. But yeah, now I'm going back to the guide. So time for the last part. This is where I plan out small little things like capping resistance. I'm also looking at the breakpoints and getting the last final inspiration from forums and the guide that I was following. I like to wait for these sort of resistant capping and the minor things at the end, just because they are hard to plan for. And also another thing I always do is do all the quests. I just like to do all the quests when I'm max level, just teleporting to them quickly with Enigma. So keeping an Enigma even on a character that I'm not going to be teleporting on is just very useful. But yeah, I don't think there's much more to say than that. It's the little things that kind of makes me want to start out a new build, and it's kind of just fun to get it done fast, because that's kind of like how I like to play. It's definitely different what most people consider normal how you play the game, but this definitely describes how I like it. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's definitely different also for the usual content on the channel, but I like to kind of do these videos where I explain how I play the game, and also just kind of how I get things done for the channel, content wise and all that stuff. So yeah, thank you for watching and have a good one.